Hello, everybody. Hello, Only Tans. Look at that beautiful little logo up there. You like it? I like it. How's everybody doing? It is a lovely summer afternoon for all of you in the United States of America. And we have a lovely guest. We have Mike Zakarian. You all know him of Team Hold, NBA Bit, probably a bunch of other things that are cooking up in the kitchen, waiting to see the light of day. We have We the People, a fine and dandy Tandy show with Mike and some nose candy. Well, I mean, that'll definitely make this show quite interesting if that were true. Jason Metz is saying I look very handsome. Thank you. I'll have to say it's the hair dryer at the gym. Okay. Anyway, without further ado, let's bring on Mike. I think we'll give him a little beta drop. Here we go.
That wasn't an appropriate introduction to come on as beta to the Tandy Alpha.
Exactly. You are the beta to my alpha. Hello, yep. Mike. Thank you for being here. How are you doing?
Dude, I'm doing great, man. It's good to be back. I feel like I haven't been here in a while. I don't know how long it's been, but I feel like it's been a while.
Probably. And also Web3 time, right? Web3 time moves very fast.
I guess.
Yeah. Anyway, there are some things to discuss today. Where do we begin? I suppose, why don't we start? Because on my tweet about today's show, I said that you are the licorice enthusiast. Did I not?
Yeah. I think that's because I talked about your tweet the other day, right?
Yeah. So I think let's start it off with a very special segment. The $1 million question, Mike Zakarian. What is your opinion on licorice?
I think what you shared is disgusting. I think that was an abomination to Twitter. I think that was I think it was offensive. I think it was offensive. I'm here for red licorice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm out on black licorice.
You're out on black licorice. Have you ever had like black licorice from, like the hardcore stuff, the super salty black licorice? Have you ever had it?
No. I'll be honest. I think if you're having licorice outside of a movie environment, I got questions. Like if that's just your go-to choice, I don't know. I feel like I don't like it. I think you should be purchasing tickets to watch a movie in the theater. Am I wrong? Well, okay, that looks like something from the new Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah, this is a special relic. I think there's a little horsey on there. Can you see the horse?
Yeah, no, it does. That looks like engraved, a 101.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So that's a very salty little cube of licorice, and let me tell you, it's only for refined palates.
Well, it looks like the chat the chat's pretty pro. Is it pro black licorice in there? Oh, okay. I see what some people are doing. But yeah, I agree with this. But I'm seeing Skeets is pro. He says incredible. Some other people in there too. Yeah,
Mm.
I don't know. I can't do it. I think it's like, but it reminds me of like when I was a kid and there's certain things that I wouldn't like. And then as I've gotten older, I like it. So I don't know. Maybe I would enjoy it more if I had it. But again, I think having licorice outside of a movie viewing experience is psychopath behavior.
But that's interesting because I would never choose licorice at a movie theater. In movie, you go to the movies, you got your popcorn, of course, you got
Yeah.
your soda, and if you're going candy, you're not going licorice. You're going like Reese's Pieces or maybe some
Sure.
M&Ms. You're
Okay, so
going licorice. You're
when
going
are you?
licorice.
So if you're okay, when are you having licorice then? If it's not in the movies, when is that your go-to choice?
I'm just having that during the day. I'm just like sitting doing work.
What?
I'm at the computer. I'm popping licorice.
Popping licorice too, like it's Molly.
Let me show you. I mean, I'm not even fucking. I'm not kidding around. I got a lot of
I'm
licorice.
based on
Look at
the
that. Look at that.
yeah.
These are
I mean, I
little hard
figured you were a
candies.
connoisseur based on that photo you put out there. It's like you literally put a picture of a dump on Twitter, and everybody was like, "Yeah, they love licorice."
Oh, geez. Well, Jeb is going in there with the whole bag. He's got the whole backpack full of food. He's got the whole like
That's
what's
incredibly on brand,
yeah.
right there.
Mm-hmm. I
It's
am a freak.
incredibly
I
on
mean,
brand.
licorice wise, I'm a dirty freak. That's absolutely true.
Look at
All
I'm
right.
seeing
Well,
Shuckster in the chat too. God, I haven't seen Shuckster in a while. It's good to see that
yeah,
name.
Shucks are Twitter legend over here.
Yeah, I love Shuck.
Mm. Okay, so we covered licorice. I'm glad we could do that. I think
Yeah,
the other news of the afternoon is that NBA All World, the app that was going to take down Top Shot, everyone was freaking out when they saw that app. I mean, I'm sure you remember it.
yeah.
Niantic, when hardcourt was still a dream of something that might happen, and then it was like, holy shit, this is the real hardcourt, and now shutters.
Tandy, can you do me a favor? Can you pull up the NBA All World Twitter account? Is
I
that
sure
something that
can.
you could? Because I think I got a theory on this.
All right.
So I think we
Let
pull it
me
up
pull it up. NBA
because,
All World.
and I'm curious what some of the replies to the NBA All World Twitter account look like.
Interesting.
Because my guess, because the only people I've ever heard talking about NBA All World are NBA Top Shot people.
Okay. So
So I'm
let's
just kind
see.
of curious, like who's replying to the NBA All World stuff.
So it seems like there's no news of them shutting down their product. It's just, what do you think about when you see a Rockets logo? Is this where I should go fishing?
Yeah, this is
All
good.
right.
But yeah, but I just want to see who's replying because I guarantee you there's a couple of Top Shot heads in there. There he is, Cam Thomas fan club. I know Cam Thomas fan club.
Yeah. Okay. Is NBA MVP a Top Shot person? Oh yeah, it is a Top Shot person.
Yep. That my point
Andre.
being
Mm-hmm.
is it's the same 3,000 people are doing everything. Whether it's So
Yeah,
Rare NBA, whether it's NBA Top Shot, whether it's NBA All World. It's the same group of people.
you're not wrong. And I think that speaks to something that the old judgy was saying last week, which was we're early. And it used to be something that you'd say while you pound your chest that you're early, but now it's something that you kind of get a little stomach ache and you say, maybe we're a little too early. Maybe we came to this party and the lights aren't even dim yet.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what's a good party analogy because there was some benefit of getting there at like 4 p.m. Maybe you help set up, you get the
Yeah.
first pick of like the high quality stuff. But
Mm.
then if you showed up at 7 o'clock, which is still like a little bit early for the party, all of the high end stuff was gone and hadn't been restocked yet. And it was just all Milwaukee's best. That's what
Mm.
everybody was drinking, Milwaukee's best from like 7 to 10 p.m. But maybe if
Oh
you
yeah.
show up after 11, they've restocked the high quality stuff, the top shelf. So yeah, we showed up at 7 o'clock, I think is what happened.
Yeah, or even earlier, and then at 11 they come in with like the new beer. You know, all of a sudden they got
Right.
some nice beer. They put the new ice. You're not just fishing around in cold water. The new ice has just gone into the cooler.
Yeah. We're
But
basically, and you want to use the baseball analogy, maybe we're like
sure.
middle relievers, the worst of the worst in pitching. So we're not the starting pitchers and we're not coming
Mm.
into closeout. We just eat a couple of innings until they get the W.
So now I'm actually confused. What analogy are we working in right now? Is this an
I would
NBA
say
All-World analogy, or is this a Web3 analogy?
whatever you pick, whatever you want. NBA Top Shot,
Okay.
NBA early. That's what I'm saying. I think whatever thing we're talking about right now, we are the
Right.
middle reliever.
So we're middle reliever. So we're not necessarily early, but we're in like the dog days of summer in a way.
Yeah, shout out Florence and the Machine.
Okay.
No Florence and the
Uh,
Machine fans out there?
yeah, I've heard of that band before.
Yeah,
Did you play NBA All-World, Mike?
sure did. I sure did for like 2 days when I was taking
Mhm.
my dog on walks. I'd be walking around Astoria, scooping up
Mhm.
some. Yeah, I was really battling Andre Drummond in 3-point contests and stuff like that. I understood the appeal for it for a second, but the idea, like, there was two ways of doing it, right? You had to like walk around a bunch. You had to like go to a bunch of different places to do it, or there were
Right.
like hacks where like Jeb could probably explain it, where you just like move your phone around a little bit like this, and then all of a sudden you get a new guy. Once it started taking up time like that, I was like, we're good. I don't need to do this anymore. But it was fun for a couple days while I was taking the dog out.
Agreed. Agreed. I
Yeah,
thought it was fun in the beginning, and then you still have a few diehards. You had your Boston base, you had your Alexo, you had your Jeb. But Jeb was about to
just like
become
Top Shot.
like Jeb was about to become like the biggest NBA All-World influencer. He made a beautiful video, and I thought
Yeah.
they paid him to do it. And he's like, "No, I just have a love of the game."
Yeah, no, he made a couple good ones, I think. Yeah, Jeb was Jeb was early, dude. Jeb was early on All World. Made some good content there. That's the last we saw of Jeb's content. Where's Jeb? Jeb, we need a live stream, Jeb.
That's true. I saw someone say on Twitter something about the show that you guys do, Shot Tank. There's talking about how Top Shot Talk is nowhere to be found. What's going on? What's going on with this with the Rat Pack of NBA Top Shot?
We're just taking a little summer break from Shot Tank. Just because there wasn't too much going on in the off season, since it's like split between So Rare and NBA Top Shot. Like, oh,
And
we'll take.
UFC.
Oh yeah, yeah, and a minute of UFC. So yeah, we were
Mm.
taking the summer off, and then yeah, TST. I mean, like, I don't want to speak out of turn. He had some like some positive personal stuff going on in his life,
Oh,
so I think it made sense to not do videos for a little bit. But everybody's good. He's gonna. I believe he's not to break news, but I believe he's gonna be out in Vegas next week, which is pretty cool for Summer League.
wow,
So
that's some breaking news.
that
Breaking
is some
news right
breaking news,
there.
baby.
Maybe we need a little drop for TST. Let's
Yeah,
do
get
it.
him.
This just in. Top Shot Talk is going to be in Las Vegas, and he's going to be celebrating some positive news. So make sure you go and shake his hand, look him in the eye, and say, "Congratulations on your positive news."
It felt like you punted on your news anchor pretty early on that impression. It was like, this just in, and then went right back to Tandy.
Yeah, that's accurate. Okay. Well, let's see what else we got here. I mean, there are some things to talk about. You released some merchandise recently, Mike. And
Oh,
the
baby, I didn't even have this ready to plug. That's a huge mistake on my end. But yeah,
Mhm.
I'll drop a link into the chat right now. And yeah, and it apparently it was controversial that we dropped chat. Shout out some of my best friends on Twitter.
And I thought that was interesting. What's interesting to me is how Twitter can actually show you quickly who doesn't like you. And I thought that was interesting because you don't get that in real life. You don't get the ability to click a button and then see who doesn't like you.
Well, let me introduce you to stand-up comedy, Tandy, because yes, that does happen. That does happen. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was so funny. I mean, I guess I think if you don't watch anything that I do, it's very easy to just like see a couple of tweets, and then if I post something like that, you're like, oh, look at this clown again. Which they're not wrong by calling me a clown,
Yeah.
but I think there's a like a misconception or misperception, I don't know, of like what exactly I'm doing. So, but whatever. I mean, not everybody's gonna be happy. It's Twitter. If everybody was happy, that'd be weird. So,
Yeah.
but I did think it was funny that they made fun of it in a way that allowed me to update the merch. So much appreciative.
And have there been any orders of the updated like satire of the original joke?
Oh, I don't think we've had any team fold, but that's okay. I don't care. I think the hot seller was the plain team hold t-shirt. I
Mhm.
think Jared Magnuson got one. And then we already had a handful of bottom shot hoodies get sold.
Okay.
Very excited about the bottom shot hoodies. I don't know if you want me to pull it up and show the hoodie. Just now, I'm not trying to sell stuff right now, but just because I think it's funny.
Yeah, you can show it.
All right, let me share screen here. Let me grab this bad boy. Here we go. Here we go.
All right, here we
Wait
go.
till I can see it up there. All right, look at this beautiful page. Beautiful page. Yeah, and I see Hot Shot saying we're still waiting for Team Sold. We gotta take a little break from it. But look at Top Shot Tony dropped his own merch right here. How about this Bottom Shot logo, huh?
I mean, Veronica's killing it.
Right?
She
Right?
is.
Great stuff. So I know we got a couple of those Bottom Shot. Do you think a cease and desist comes in?
I was actually just going to ask you about that. I don't think it will, though, because I think you're allowed to satire, first of all. I think you're protected when you satire.
I think so, too.
But yeah, like, I think the Bottom Shot thing, it's like, it's funny, it's humorous, and the logo's good. I wonder if I would just feel sad, though, when I see myself wearing that. Like,
yeah.
Half...
I mean, like, I think that's the thing. It's 100% like a Tony joke, right? It's not really that we're like, that's how he addressed Top Shot. Every time he talked about it, he said Bottom Shot. So that was more of the bit of it. I don't think they would do a cease and desist either, but I do think, man, would be so funny if it came in. Like, that's what when I was thinking about, I was like, do we do this? Is it worth it? And I was like, man, if a cease and desist came in, do you know how funny that would be?
Yeah,
like
that'd be extra.
It'd be great. Yeah, exactly. So we let it rip, baby. We let it rip.
Okay. Well, let's take it to NBA for a moment, because Mike, for those who aren't aware, you live and breathe NBA. You talk about it every day of the week and twice on Sundays. And yeah, so what are you thinking so far? There's a lot of stories, a lot of rumors. The rumor mill is, Dame Lillard. What's happened to Dame Lillard? What's going on with Zion Williamson? Is he going to play next year in New Orleans?
Yeah.
What is the most interesting story as of right now? Today, by the way, breaking news, we have Kyrie Irving is going to talk to the Suns. Can the Suns afford Kyrie Irving, or is he going to pull some BS and sign for the vet minimum?
I was thinking about that. And I mean, Kyrie has forfeited a lot of money over the last 2.5, 3 years. And it made me wonder if he wouldn't do that because he's like, listen, I gotta get like one more bag before I get out of here. Or is that thinking too rationally for Kyrie Irving? And will he really sign a vet min to go play with Phoenix, which would really be a troll to the entire league, to Dallas? It would make me question KD even more. Like, I don't know why Kevin Durant would want it. He's like, you know what we need to do? Run it back, So I think he's probably just using this as leverage to just tell Dallas, like, hey, I will, I'm not messing around here. I want a real deal here. But I think he would sign for the vet min.
Yeah, I don't think he would. I think he, like you said, he's lost too much cash. And even though Kyrie makes it seem that he is above everything, he's above money. In fact, he goes to Burning Man and he just lives at Burning Man all year. I don't think that's actually the truth. I think that's just the Kyrie that he portrays on social media. And I think that he wants the bag.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. That's how I feel too. I saw Jack Settleman tweet too. It would be funny in the next CBA if they basically write in a rule that you can't do that. Almost being like that's like working around the rules. Kyrie's too good to take a vet min. But yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. The Dame thing's so interesting too, because I mean, if he really does force their hand, at some point, if it's not that it's going to get ugly, but I could see him being like, no, I really want to go. Then I'm sure some lopsided deal happens. But I don't see any trade that benefits both sides in what they're trying to do. The Miami packages, I'm like, I guess, yeah, you get Tyler Hero back. Cool. Let's collect all of the small guards we can find in the league. So I don't know if that one really makes sense. Even though Dame in Miami would be fun. Brooklyn, I don't know what is Dame in Brooklyn a contending team? I mean, he's just Portland and New York. That's essentially what that team
it's not. It doesn't make any difference. He needs to go to a team with a couple of studs. Thank you to Boston Base, by the way. A little nice sponsored comment here. He says, this guy seems really cool with his unbuttoned shirt and slick back hair. But Mike is actually saying that was pushback, Boston Base. That wasn't slick back. And he used to be a piece of shit. He's not a piece of shit anymore. But yeah, Yeah, people can change. There's actually, I'm sure you saw that article too about how like every man who watches that show has like mental issues because all they do is speak in quotes from that
It's
show.
incredible.
But anyway, yeah, I don't know. But he wouldn't make Brooklyn a contender
Right.
in like, possibly going to the finals. So I don't know what team. It has to be a team with a bunch of picks, maybe some young talent, and then Portland can just, continue to push the young guys out there.
Yeah, I really loved, like, Bill Simmons talked about it, and then it was on the Ringer NBA, and I tweeted something out about it yesterday too. I don't know. They probably need a third team to make it work. Like some draft picks would have to go to Portland too. But the idea of Karl Anthony Towns relocating in Portland, you get all those young guards, let him be the spacing big, and then Dame, like a starting five in Minnesota of Dame, Anthony Edwards, Rudy Gobert, Kyle Anderson, and McDaniels. I don't know, that's pretty intriguing. I think that makes a
Yeah.
ton of sense. Rudy makes up like for Dame's lack of defense. You got Rudy behind him. I kind of like that, but I don't think there's a world in which Dame's like, yeah, get me out of Portland so I can go to Minnesota.
Yeah, you're right. It'll be interesting. I for some reason it feels like it's the same story though every offseason, and it's just going to go
Yeah.
back to Portland, and the same thing's going to happen every year. Like, I don't know why that keeps happening over and over again, but
I know. I feel bad for Portland fans. I mean, I honestly feel bad for Dame too, which maybe I shouldn't. He's doing fine, but he's so fun. He's so fun, and I want him in competitive situations. I think
I know.
that would be nice. And I'm seeing people say Jaylen Brown's going to Atlanta. Get the hell out of here. Jaylen Brown's
I
not going to
know.
Atlanta. They don't have any
I mean,
package that the Celtics would be interested in.
First of all, Jaylen Brown will never want to go to Atlanta because he can make buckets more money in Boston. And
Yeah,
someone said something interesting. I guess maybe if you want to talk at all about the Marcus Smart trade, which is
sure.
so first of all, I don't know about you, but I would have rather lost Brogdon than Marcus Smart. Just because obviously I'm a homer, and
Yeah,
like, Marcus Smart is defense. In my opinion, the Celtics lost to the Heat because of shitty defense. They made other series close because of shitty defense, in my opinion,
I
among other
so
things.
the Marcus, I agree that Marcus is safer than Brogdon because we know Marcus Smart's going to play, right? And that, I mean, like Brogdon, we got so many games out of Brogdon, and that normally doesn't happen. So we should just be happy that we got that. And like Marcus, he's going to play those like 60, 70 games, whatever. My biggest thing with the Smart stuff, so I had a little cough there. I,
Yeah.
I'm going to take myself out of being a Bostonian and a homer for a second.
Yeah.
Everyone complained about the mental toughness, the heart and soul of the Celtics for the
Yeah.
entire playoff run.
Yeah.
They were like close games. They can't do it. They're not tough enough. They're not mentally strong enough. They need to
Yep.
change something in the culture. Then
Mhm.
they trade somebody, and everybody's like, how dare they trade the heart and soul? I was like, that's
Yeah.
the thing you guys said was wrong. That's the thing that needed to be fixed. So here we go. You got to shake the snow globe up a little bit. And like, I love Marcus. I'll bummed he's not going to be there anymore. But I mean, it felt like true, like damned if you do, damned if you don't, because everybody was hammering him too. They're like, why does the ball keep getting in Marcus's hands for these like game winning and game tying shots? And then they're like, you know what? Good point. We need more depth in the front court. Like, you know what? Good point. So then they make those changes, and everybody's like, how dare you, dude? How dare you?
Yeah.
And I know it's just like a nostalgia thing. We love Marcus. He was like a true Bostonian, a true Celtic. But to me, I don't know. I think this makes sense. I know a lot of people have been disagreeing with that, both in like the Boston fan base world and just like sports media. A lot of people seem to be like, it was good value, but a bad fit. I don't know.
Mm.
We'll see. I feel like they got a couple moves left. No?
Yeah, I would think so. I don't think they have enough depth in the guard position right now. I think they need
Yeah.
at least another point guard. But this is actually a point that I wanted to make that I heard somewhere else as well, which is that by losing Smart, you now let Jaylen Brown and or Jason Tatum to become the locker room lead. And I think
Yeah.
that, who knows, that could have somewhat of an effect, because maybe they felt like they were sort of playing second fiddle behind Marcus Smart to lead the team. And Jason Tatum is your all-star, and I
Yeah.
want to see him be the guy that's shouting, running down the court. Obviously, we see that Jason Tatum when he has a great game. Then we see
Right.
the shitty Jason Tatum who can't score in the first half, and then it's like, what the hell's going on? But anyway, I agree with you. I feel like it felt like you did sort of have to shake something up, but the fact that we were this close to getting that with Brogdon
Yeah, I know.
kind
That
of
would have been
hurts.
great. That would have been great. I know that did. The fact that that got like announced, that was tough.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
tough.
that was tough. But hopefully Porzingis doesn't get injured playing for Latvia now. I mean, like doesn't pull a Gallinari on us. That would be great.
Did you see that graphic of the Latvian roster? Right, with like it had Porzingis, Davis Bertans. Did you see there's like a Derek Bertans? Is there like a Bertans bro?
Oh, I didn't know there's a Bertans bro.
I think there
Interesting.
is. I think there's like a Bertans bro, which I need to learn more about him. Like, can
Mm,
Dallas overpay that Bertans too?
yeah, that would be great. And
Yeah.
that would be great. So I guess we can talk Top Shot now. I feel like we didn't really talk Top Shot at all. There are some moves that have been made lately by Top Shot that I think are really good, to be honest.
Hmm.
So I guess that deserves a little simp video clip.
Let's sim.
Let's sim.
Let's sim.
Let's sim. Let's sim. Let's sim.
Really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
It's
thank
really
you.
good.
Irene Dow. Got to bring back Irene Dow whenever we can. So yeah, I think like I talked about this before, but the burning boards, the rookie board, the rookie burning board. Did you partake? Did you burn a single moment and get back 4?
No. So I famously locked all the moments that I have left. So I haven't participated in just about anything, but I loved it. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
Like I'm a fan of the rookie league. I mean, I know everybody's got the same complaints. Like, not to pivot to the top 50 one that they just did
Yeah, but
for
you can. You
the
can.
team
We're
reels.
talking Top Shot current news. So go ahead. You can pivot there.
But yeah, I thought that was great, and I get the criticism of, oh cool, the same 50 people are gonna get all the rewards. Should we make them press the button that says they are a Spurs fan in order to get? I get all that shit. I
Yeah.
get all that
Yeah.
shit. But this is like that. That's like you're trying to fix such a specific thing without fixing the bigger thing. And I think right now they're fixing the bigger thing. They're like, I think these are good. These are like good moves for people to participate in. And then maybe as they move into Series 5, which everybody seems pretty excited about, that we'll see more of this stuff, more of the shit that they did with the redemptions, more of the burning leaderboards, different types of leaderboard challenges. I think all of that stuff is good. I know I can burn lock moments, but Jared, if I start burning lock moments, then I won't have all of those to give away in a couple weeks. So, but no, I agree with you. I think all of those decisions have been like, it seems like they're making like smart moves. They're finding different ways for people to engage with the platform. It's been good.
Yeah, exactly. I would agree. And I do think that there's some validity to the people complaining that you should have favorite team to be able to get that stuff. I do think that they should weave some of that in there. And I think it would be nice if some people who have like a favorite team at least get somewhat of a chance to get these like badass moments, because
Definitely.
those people are probably more likely to hold on to them anyhow. Like sometimes I wonder if the people, if there's almost like a benefit to the people at the top getting all this cool stuff, because you almost know they're going to hold on to it. So it's like,
Yeah.
we're not gonna risk someone, selling a bunch of crap all at once, because we know these people are diehards on the platform. But I do think
They're
that,
also like literally keeping the platform alive.
Mhm.
Like they're the ones spending the money. I don't know. I understand why it's weighted a little bit more heavily to the people who are dropping dollars. Like we saw with the burning leaderboard, what was it? Like less than 3,000 people participated. And then I know everybody came out and they were like, well, there's a lot of passive collectors as well. Cool. But I think if people are dropping big bags, you get rewarded a little bit more handsomely in those ways. I mean, and listen, they've never done this before, so maybe they were like, we need to try this out, and then hey, it worked. Congrats, this was great. And then
Right.
they're like, now let's try a leaderboard specific one or something. I don't know. I'm willing to give them a little bit more wiggle room with all of the different developments they've had and like the evolution of collecting a little bit. I don't know. I'm willing to give them a little bit more runway, but I totally get the frustration of being like, why did a Spurs fan win a Suns moment?
Sure. This is an easy question. Would you rather join Top Shot today or early 2021? If anyone answers early 20, well, I guess if you joined January 1st, 2021, then perhaps
Yeah.
that was actually a really good time to join. But if you joined, I mean, we've said this 1,000 times. But yeah, I think in general, if you mean anytime after February 2021, you probably would rather join today.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, that's partially why I want to get rid of all my moments and just like start over.
Mm.
I want to start.
What?
It's okay.
Well, go ahead. You go, Mike.
No, I just mean like there's something that sucks about being like knowing that the bag is heavy. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, and I feel like if you're starting from zero, feels a little fresher. You're losing like $5 instead of $500.
Yeah. But do you ever think about collect what you love? Do you ever think about like what moments on this platform do you love?
I mean, I still have an affinity towards. I mean, even though this theory has been proven to be like wrong, I still have like love towards those Top Shot debuts from Series One. Like, I still
Mhm.
think like that Tatum debut and the Jokic debut are probably my two favorite moments. Both because Tatum like puts Paul George on his ass in that moment, but
Yeah.
I just loved the idea of that being their first moment on the platform. And that would, but I can't, you know what though, Tandy, I can't tell if it's because I like those moments or it's because those were the things that were most sought after when I first got here. So it's almost like this nostalgia piece, or it's what I thought I was supposed to be going for the whole time. Um, so I don't know. I think I enjoy those. And I mean, there's some like rare moments that come out or different highlights that come. I don't know. I'm more intrigued by the reels now than I am by any of the other moments. Like the reels seem like kind of enticing now, but not, and
Yeah.
I'll be very honest, not to the point where I'm like trying to buy anything. Like I haven't bought
Yeah.
anything that I hate. I haven't bought anything that I didn't give away in over a year, I don't think.
Hmm. Yeah. For me, like when I really get down to it, the moments that really mean something to me are the moments where like my favorite players on my favorite team did something really important. And there's
Yeah.
not that much of that. So it's like, unless you're a collector who loves collecting, then you're going to love a lot of stuff.
Right.
But if you're someone who just literally wants to collect like the moments from the team and the player, then it's a handful of moments. But anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say is that Top Shot should buy All World, NBA All World, and turn that into hardcore.
Yeah. I was seeing like Alexa tweeted about that today too. I mean, then the same, that was kind of my point earlier. That changes nothing. It just means the same people that were playing All World can now play All World, but it's connected to Top Shot, I think.
Yeah, why not though? I mean, I'm not
Yeah,
saying that's a huge marketing play. I'm just saying why not? It makes people like stickier on the Top Shot brand or whatever.
sure. Yeah, spend some money. Who cares? I'm with
Yeah,
you. Go
who
buy some
cares?
stuff. Yeah, who
It's
cares?
fun. It's fun. Go buy yourself like a cool lightning sweatshirt for your favorite player.
Yeah. Or like a licorice brand. I don't know. Maybe they'll do Top Shot licorice.
I'd like that.
I know you would.
Yeah.
Too sick.
I know. I'm a sick man. So there was also a mailbag. Was there anything interesting that caught your eye in that mailbag?
I didn't know they were calling it like the NBA PA Beef House or whatever, the Beef Deli.
Yeah. What was that about? That was like the beef jerky house.
I
Let's
joked
see.
that you were going to be able to use Top Shot moments as food stamps at the Brotherhood Deli.
That's good.
But no, I imagine that's like where there's going to be some eateries within the Thomas and Mack Center. That's what I
think
imagine
so.
that means. So we'll probably see some Top Shot presence at NBA Con. We'll probably see them in the arena as well, which is cool. I'm glad they're going to be there. I mean, I know it's probably not like the going on tour, but based on what happened this year, they probably shouldn't be going on tour, right? If there's not going to be this big contingency going out there, they don't need to be putting on a massive thing out there either. So I'm glad they're going to be out there and doing a little something. So that'll be fun.
Yeah. I think it's like a slow boil. You know, it's kind of like what the previous GM was talking about, you know, return on marketing expenditures and stuff like that. I think what you said earlier is kind of the truth, which is that the Web3 space is pretty small. The only way you're going to get people dumping into Web3 space is if you do something where speculators have a chance to go nuts, which is like what we see when these like Azuki collections come out. All of a sudden everyone rushes in because they think that there's going to be a chance to make a bunch of money. And we also know that that was never the intention with this product. So in my estimation, it's just like, yeah, it's like a slow boil. It's not what a bunch of us here experienced in the beginning, but I think
Well,
it
and
is
I
what they're
think, you know,
trying
I
to
think
be.
that's part of the problem, and not I don't mean problem as in like Top Shot needs to fix this, but I think part of the problem is a lot of us came into this when there was a lot of speculative nature to the platform, and
Right.
speculative is fun sometimes because you can make money off of it. But I also would argue that part of the speculative stuff helped build hashtag community because like people were having a lot of fun coming up with these theories. I mean, that's literally how Jeb started, essentially, is by putting on a tinfoil hat, coming up with these crazy thoughts. Everybody would buy like the same moment for a challenge or something. If you were right in your speculative buy, everybody like laughed and you won. And if you were wrong, it was like we were all wrong together. And I think that was like a big part of why a lot of people were messing around with this. I'm not saying it's the only reason, but I think there was a big part of it. And for the most part, that's no longer the case, right? I don't think there's much of a speculative nature of this like this current iteration of Top Shot. And I think that's fine, but I just think for a lot of people that have been here for a while, it's going to take a little while to get used to like what this new game is. And I don't know. I know for me, that's been one of the harder parts. Like I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed making content around it. I enjoyed talking about it and not necessarily trying to make all the money in the world. It was just like fun. That type of banter around it was a lot of fun.
Well, I liken it to the redemption stuff. I think that's part of the reason why the redemption stuff felt fun and different was because that
100%.
same element of speculation. So hopefully we can see more of that. Anyway, let's see what else we got here. Anything worth talking about? We got those player leaderboards, and you said those reels are interesting to you, and I would actually 100% agree with you. I think team reels for the season is super cool. I think
Love
that
it.
part of the vision of NBA Top Shot previously, I would say, or in the future, is that you have like a snapshot of your team. You get to see the history of your team season by season. And I think that that is super cool to me. So like you can literally own, if you're a Celtics fan, you can own like a reel every season and say, oh yeah, I remember that. I remember this amazing play that happened. And all that sucked how he lost to the Heat at that moment. And like you just in a couple minutes, you get that whole story at once. And that's super cool. So I'm glad they're doing that.
To me, like when you were saying, what are the collectible things? That is like, that makes sense to me. I'd rather have something like that than a game in January where Malcolm Brogdon hit a layup.
Exactly. Me too. And that's kind of where sentiment went after, when people talked all about supply and there's too much supply and too many moments of these players. And that's kind of what happened. It felt a little watered down, even though there might have been a really cool dunk and, in a important win, but it doesn't really mean anything to most people later on. So these
Real
kind of
quick,
moments do. Yeah.
as we continue to move forward, I just want to say
Yeah.
we're 40 minutes in. I don't think I've said anything critical yet, right? I've been like
Really?
pretty positive.
We got to give you a round of applause if I could find one, but go ahead.
Well, okay, yeah, if you've got a drop, go ahead. But I'm about to be critical. I
Okay.
think they can start taking an L on their performance with the WNBA.
Okay.
I mean,
I have heard that.
Yeah, they haven't done anything. They haven't done anything. And there's like a couple of strong like community members. I'm gonna shout out like Mac Attack and Shepper, or is it Shepper or Schnapper? I always forget if it's Shepper or Schnapper. But they've done some like pretty cool stuff building some W communities. I know there are other communities that are working on it as well and like doing stuff on playback and everything like that. But it really has felt pretty not even haphazard, because haphazard sounds like they're doing something. Like I know today an announcement came out where they're like, oh, leaderboard snapshot. But I mean, there really hasn't been any emphasis. And again, maybe this goes to their shorthanded nature. Maybe all of their focus is on NBA Top Shot, whatever. But I just, listen, 40 minutes in without saying anything critical, I just don't think they've done like a really good job caring about the WNBA.
My instinct, or I would say that it's probably based on what you just said, which is they probably are a little shorthanded right now, and they're just trying to nail NBA, like the NBA portion of the product. That's what I would think. And so, yeah, they might just not have enough bandwidth to be able to like nail both equally in a way.
Yeah.
So like,
No,
it's sort of
it's probably right. I imagine when like the first round of layoffs or the second round, whenever they were, I'm sure it was most of the W team.
Yeah, there goes Mike's internet a little bit, but
or did I chop out? Am I back? Am I back?
You're back. But
right,
there is a little piece of there's a little bit of speculation here, I would say, which is here. As we know, and this is not financial advice, but as we know, the archive set, the NBA Top Shot archive set, is very much oversupplied, and a lot of those wonderful moments are basically basement moments selling for $1. And there's going to be new historical moments across multiple tiers this summer. And we also know that in the past that they've said that they're going to use archive moments in a similar way. I think they were going to do something last summer when they were going to release these, and they're going to let you
Vintage
use
vibes.
and they were going to let you use archive moments in some way. And then that didn't happen. So I would say there's a pretty good chance that you're going to be able to use some archive moments this summer to get these new historical moments. Not financial advice.
That sounded like financial advice.
Yeah, that's true.
Well,
But yeah, you're right.
It wouldn't be a big
Go ahead.
financial investment right now. Aren't those archives like you can get them on Floaty for like, I don't know, what's it, like 4 sloppy steaks or whatever it's called?
Yeah, you're right. You probably could. You could get them very cheaply. So maybe it is a little bit of financial advice, but the financial advice is like under $5 of investment.
You're safe.
But basically here, I don't know if you were alluding to this line, but I think this kind of reiterates what we were just talking about, which is the only thing it says about WNBA season is celebrate the WNBA season with limited edition collectibles, which basically says nothing.
Right. I know. Yeah. Hey, we're almost at the All-Star break. Celebrate the W.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know. I see Jeb in the chat saying probably have to lock them. The good news is though, is you can still burn the locked ones, as I've learned today. So
yeah, you can. Anyway, they talk about if there's gonna be new common and rare series 4. Yeah, so they say that there could be more.
more
New
moms, baby.
throwdowns, new for the wins, new video game numbers. So at least they tell you how many. There's going to be 3 more video game numbers. I would argue that video game numbers is probably one of the most celebrated sets of Series 4. Probably the most celebrated set, actually. So that's interesting for those of you.
I do. I really like the video game number set. My concern with them is the same thing that I had with like hollows, and not to be like a FUD machine. I just mean like, hey, you know who's going to put up really big numbers every single year? Luka. And so like the video game numbers Luka Series 4 video game numbers. How is that going to differentiate from Series 5 video game numbers, Series 6? You know what I mean? Like in the next 10 years, we're going to get video game numbers from Luka. Yeah. And I mean, we've seen it with every single set, every single series, every single player. The more that happens, the less people care.
Well, and for that reason, they've showed us already recently, and this is another pat on the back for Dapper. They've showed us that they're willing to do some creative things of burning and things like that. So at this point, let's make the obvious decision. And when Luka Series 5 video game numbers comes out, you got to earn it with a Luka Series 4. You burn the Luka Series 4 to get the Luka Series 5.
I'm here for all that.
Right? And
I don't think you make any money that way.
Well, I mean, there can still be ways. I mean, or, maybe they don't make money on that set, but they make money on, I don't know, for the win, or I don't know. But if video game numbers is like the premier set of the series, then I think if you're going to choose one set to treat that way, I think that would be the set.
Yeah. I also love Jeb's comment right there. I know that's come up a couple times on our show. The idea of treating them like NFL All Day does with their dynamic reels. So you just continue to add to the highlights. So if Luka puts up something crazy, like I love that idea. I just love that idea of making more dynamic reels, making adjustments as it goes on,
But what does that mean? That you wouldn't have a Series 5 Luka? It would just add on to the Series 4 one?
I love that. I don't think they would do that. But
No.
just saying, like, if Anthony Davis put up, I don't know, I feel like a video game number moment from Anthony Davis's Series 4 would be cool, right?
Okay.
I'm trying to think of like other players who have, how many times did like Giannis or Jokic put up? Like, what if Jokic's video game numbers just turned into a dynamic reel of all of his triple doubles from this season or something? Like
okay,
that,
I see what you're saying. So in the one season, it can adapt and get added onto.
Exactly.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Also, I love that Jeb's getting all the credit for that too. Hell yeah, Jeb. Let's go, baby.
Wow. Nice job. Congratulations, Jeb. So another question I have for you. Remind me again, what were you studying to be? Weren't you say you were like studying to be a pastor or something in college? Was that right?
No, I never really. I almost went to college. I almost went to. I mean, well, I did go to college. I almost went to college to be a youth pastor. Yeah, when I was in high school, I was thinking about it. I almost went to Eastern Nazarene College in Quincy, Massachusetts,
Hmm.
and decided against it.
What made you decide against it?
Sex, baby. No, no. I I just didn't think I was that. I wanted to go experience some stuff. Wait, somebody's saying Woj bomb. Harden's gone. Is that real? Hold on. I
Is
know.
that
I didn't want
real?
to I didn't want to completely derail this because I know you want to talk about Jesus,
Yeah, I
lover
want to
of
talk
my
about
soul.
Jesus. Actually,
Wait, hold
okay,
on.
breaking news. Hold on. We can use this now. The breaking news that
Wow.
James Harden is not going anywhere. That's the breaking news. The breaking
No,
news,
read it.
right? Okay, I'm reading it.
Read the whole.
James Harden is picking up his 35 million option and sides are beginning to work. Oh shit. Okay, I didn't read the whole thing. Sides are
Yeah.
beginning to work together and exploring trade scenarios. It expected that Harden has played his last game for Philadelphia.
Wow. People should in the chat. I know this isn't going to be a part of the giveaway, but if there's any team holders here, you know to put in hashtag hard on. Anytime there's
Okay.
James Harden news, hashtag hard on. That's crazy. All the money in the world was on James Harden coming back to Philly, especially after Doc Rivers. After Doc was fired, it seemed like the fences were mended. But that's man, Philly's fucked.
They sure are.
I
It's
don't even know
all
what good options they'd have.
I don't know. Dame? Is Dame coming to Philly?
No, because Harden going to Portland makes no sense. But what if Harden goes back to Houston and he's included in like a Jalen Green trade?
But does that really move the needle? I mean, so Harden's going to go to Houston, score a bunch of points, and go to the strip clubs, and then and Jalen Green is going to come to the Sixers, and the Sixers are going to have the same result in the playoffs.
I mean, but that's literally what James wants. So like what you described is exactly what James wants.
Okay.
Man, that's nuts. I'm very surprised by that.
Hmm. Yeah.
Sorry,
I would
Jesus.
I would think that so here we go, Mike. What's a good biblical verse that captures what's going on with James Harden?
Let's see. I'm trying to. The only thing that I can think of right now is Daniel in the Lion's Den. I'm trying to think of who Daniel is and who the Lion's Den. Who's considered like what are the Lions? Maybe Daryl Morey is Daniel here, and Phil and Harden and the strippers of Houston, and like those become the Lions. Man, Harden and Gomorrah is pretty good. That's pretty good, Jeb. Or maybe Harden's Judas. Maybe this is the Last Supper. He like tugged on his ear, and now Pontius Pilate's coming to get him.
But who's killing who? Who's getting crucified?
Well,
Is it B getting crucified?
Well, Maury's white, so it's gonna. I don't know. I don't know who's getting crucified here. This is a real turning point, though. I think for the Sixers because if they're not able to land something sexy back, I could see Embiid being like, "Get me out of here!" Right?
Yeah, I agree. Embiid's gonna cry and get his way. That's how he got the MVP, right?
It's true. It's true, man. I don't. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
anyways, to answer your question, I don't know. I don't know why I
yeah.
decided not to do it.
Okay, you don't know why. But that is
remember.
kind of an interesting question though, because like that's a big decision to go and become a pastor. That's like a big decision.
I
That's
don't
really
think
like counterculture in a way.
Yeah, but not for me. It wasn't. I mean, I grew up in like a super religious, like family. I was like pretty active in the church. I was actually talking to Tyler Parker, who his book recently came out, and he had a bunch of Christian rock band references, and
Okay.
that like spoke to me because that was something that I was like super involved in when I was super in that scene when I was younger.
Were
So
you
it didn't
going to
really
the
feel like
concerts?
Oh yeah, hell yeah, dude! I used to go to this thing every year in New Hampshire at Loon Mountain. It's called the Inside Out Soul Festival. POD was headlining it. Remember
Wow.
POD?
I think I do.
I feel so alive. Oh my
Are
god!
they a religious group?
Yeah, but nobody knew. That's how good they
Wow.
were. Is they didn't have to tell
Wow.
anybody. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep.
Interesting.
POD. Who else there? There was DC Talk, the Newsboys, Reliant K, Michael W. Smith, Stephen Curtis Chapman, all the bangers. Jars of Clay. That's right, King Brett. King Brett knows Jars of Clay. I saw Jars of Clay play like 50 times.
Wow.
Audio
So
adrenaline. Holy shit, Matthew Harrison. Yeah, this is great.
All right.
But anyways, I don't know. When I was getting ready for college, I was just like looking around at a couple of different things. I really wanted to live in Boston, and then I knew that if I went to school for something else, I could go back to it. But I knew if I went to school for that, I wouldn't be able to. Like that was what I was going to do. So it was a good decision.
Is that door still open?
Oh no.
No.
No, dude, I'm full-time YouTube, baby. I'm a YouTuber. YouTube god. The algorithm is my Lord and Savior now, baby.
What if you just made like an alternative Christian rock channel? I think people would really dig that.
Dude, I'm a drummer too. I mean, I don't play anymore, but I was a drummer. So I was banging on the trash cans and some Jesus rock groups as well.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I can't sing though.
Yeah. You just need someone else to sing. Did you watch that show on Netflix, Beef?
No, I haven't. I don't know why I haven't watched it yet. That's right up my alley. It's got Stephen Yeun, who I love, Ali Wong, who I love, Andrew Santino, who I love. I still haven't watched it. There's another Woj bomb. What the hell's going on?
Are you kidding me? All right, let me go see.
Yeah, I'll let you do the breaking news drop.
All right, here we go. Let's do some breaking news. Here we go.
Wait.
All right. Well, fan bases of these two teams that don't do anything usually, the Clippers and the Knicks, are expected to be among the teams that will engage with the Sixers on a potential James Harden trade. Sources tell ESPN. So Knicks and Clippers.
The Paul George one makes sense to me. Like if you just swap Paul George and James Harden, that like Harden and Kawhi makes sense. Paul George and Embiid makes sense. You give Maxey the keys to the car as the point guard. That to me works. I'm assuming Paul George would have to be in that deal, right? I don't even know what other fucking assets the Clippers have to make a move.
I don't either. You need some big salaries.
Yeah. And the Knicks make no sense. I mean, I don't know. What is it? RJ Barrett, Quentin Grimes.
And I got to go look up Knicks salaries. Who's getting overpaid on the Knicks right now? Their whole team, but who in particular? Derrick Rose? No. Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle, RJ Barrett. Those are your top three salaries.
It would be RJ. It would definitely be RJ. I don't think you need Randle next to Embiid. That'd be wild.
I just find
Paul George one makes the most. Say that again.
I just find these trades weird for some reason. Like they don't seem that they push any team to the finals. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm intrigued by James Harden and Kawhi Leonard. I think the biggest problem about Kawhi and Paul George is that they both don't play a bunch of the time.
Yeah.
Paul George, I mean, James Harden and Kawhi, I kind of like it. I also think the Sixers would be, yeah, I agree. I don't think either of them are winning the finals, but I think it makes them a little bit better.
Sure.
That's crazy. I'm very surprised by this.
Me too. I don't often expect to see the Knicks in big trade talks. I don't know when was like the last big Knicks trade. I can't even recall.
No, I probably Melo.
Yeah. Just trying to sell jerseys and tickets. That's right, Joker Rock. It's not really always about winning the finals, is it? Yeah, well, that's some big news on the show. Good stuff. Let's see. Is there anything else? We got a few more minutes together. Do you wanna pump the summer league bags at all? You got a big event going on. You're gonna be. It said, I think on your flyer, it said something about NBA players. Are you gonna have NBA players at your party?
Yeah, we're working out the details right now. It's getting a little dicey, but we're working out the details right now. But we're gonna have some fun guests. That's what I will say. We'll have some fun guests for the Team Hold live show, which is going to be on Friday. I'm gonna drop a link in the chat. I'm sure everybody who is going is probably already aware of this right now, but I'll drop a link in there. We are going to be there Thursday to Sunday. We're going to NBA Summer League games on Friday. And then at 5 o'clock at the Sand Dollar Lounge, which is a part of like the Plaza Hotel and Casino in Old Vegas, we're going to be doing a live show. And then on Saturday, we're going to go to NBA Con, and then we're having a happy hour meetup at Beer Park in Paris, which is the 3rd year in a row we've done that, which is kind of crazy that
Cool.
this is now like year 3 of like the happy hour and the team hold going to Vegas, but our 2nd year doing the live show, 1st year not being tied to Top Shot.
Right. And is it going to be the same Shot Tank style show, or are you going to switch it up at all?
So so technically we have it from 5 to 7. It'll probably go 90 minutes or so. And I think the plan is to do 30 minutes of the team hold bros, 30 minutes of the Shot Tank bros, and then 30 minutes for those that watch the 89 Cavs, which is my buddies Steve and Justin, who are comedians here in New York. We're going to do so kind of like a smorgasbord of all the different shows. And it's going to be pretty interactive. I think I'm trying to put together some more audience participatory type event. So it's more of less of like a live podcast, more of a event, I would say.
Cool. And no NBA Top Shot GMs or big giveaways.
No, I think they unfollowed the team hold account. I don't think they're going to be there. I don't think they're going to show up. Although maybe Steve, maybe a friend down under, Steve Baller's blockchain, he might be there. So which I would love to see him. I would love to meet that man in real life.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think we covered most of the topics I wanted to get into. And we're just about at an hour. Is there anything else, Mike? Is there anything else you'd like to talk about or promote or anything else?
I don't know, Tandy, man. It's been great to be back. I like that you're still doing stuff, man. You should get some love for that, because I think if you look around the landscape, sorry, now we're gonna call. If you look around the landscape, I will say Connect and Collect and Start. Shout out those bros. They've been putting out some more content lately with their YouTube podcasts and stuff. So it's good to see that. But from way back when, man, it's kind of just you. It's you and me now.
Yeah.
TST we see every once in a while. Where's Fleo? Strad's still out there. Shout out Strad. But you do good shit, man, and I'm glad you're still banging away, and I'm glad you had me on, and I'm glad you brought up Jesus too.
Yeah. That's kind of what keeps the show going, is that we got to bring up important topics like Jesus, and Liam Neeson was last week, and the submersible, and we got to make sure that we cover everything.
Oh yeah, Badge County too. Shout out Badge County. My bad, I missed Badge County. Hey, speaking of Liam Neeson, you see that new trailer?
I actually did, because I Googled him today. I was curious if maybe I had gotten tricked, and I was curious if maybe the P story was fake, but I couldn't find anything to tell me that the P story was fake. And while I was searching, I saw that there's a new trailer, which is pretty much like Taken, but in a car that goes fast or something like that.
Yeah. Yep. It's going to be good. I'm ready for it. Actually, Tandy, I'll throw one more thing out there. You know what I watched? Are you a big true crime person? Do you watch true crime shit?
Sometimes. So I actually watched before you tell me, I watched a documentary on Netflix that I thought was amazing about I love stories about like swindlers and scammers, and religious swindlers even better. And there was like cults, and there was one on Netflix called John of God, or João de Deus. It's in Brazil. And it was an amazing story. It's this guy that believed that he could talk to the spirits, and he would embody the spirits, and he would do these like barbaric surgeries on people with like a pair of scissors, and they wouldn't feel any pain, and they'd swear that they were healed. And Oprah said he was the shit. And like, he got millions of people from all over the world. So that was an incredible one. But
let me recommend one on Hulu then. This isn't the one that I was going to talk about, but oh my God, what's the name of the church? They were like a rock band church, and they were international. I think they started in Australia and then went to, there was a big one in New York, and there was all these scandals. Let me see. I'm going to Google it right now just so I can find it. Come on. Hillsong. Yeah, it's on Hulu. It's excellent stuff. But you know what I love about this too is that I think oftentimes, right, from the outside, you see something like that and you're like, dude, all the fucking religion is a scam. And then you're like, okay, well, let me think about the Web3 world. And it's the same shit. And then I think about the political world, and it's the same shit. And then even in the comedy world, there are these like self-proclaimed gurus who turn out to touch a lot of people. It's just like undefeated that no matter what industry you're in, there's always going to be this weird cult community around it who are like way too passionate for good and for bad. And then someone is risen up, and then you're like, yeah, this guy sucks. And I love it. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. No one's available.
And sometimes I wonder, what is it about people that get so powerful? I mean, specifically men in this case, who get so powerful, and the only thing they want to do is like play with, do bad things to women, take advantage of them sexually. What is it about power that when men get rich and powerful, that so many of them, that's all they want to do? Is it because we're just like animals and we're monkeys and we...
Yeah, I think it's intoxicating for people. I think they get in a position, they're like, you know what? I am the best. Everyone around me is telling me the best. I'm powerful. I've changed people's lives. And usually it starts from a good place, right? And you see all the people that you've impacted. You see all the people patting you on the back. They want to get in your good graces. So everybody's just like, wow, yeah, you're killing it, Tandy. You're the best, Tandy. Tandy's the best. And then you start in your broken ass brain. You're like, you know what, dude? I fucking earned this. I deserve this. Like I know better than they do. And it just like rots your brain. I think that type of intoxicating power.
Yeah, I deserve to corrupt a young woman's life for the rest of her life. That's my right as a famous person.
Somebody clip that.
So before we bounce, there was one. So Weisberg's in here saying that they denied the extension for Jones on the Pelicans. Let's see. Herb Jones had his team option declined. WTF, bro.
Wow, that is surprising. And then the Knicks picked up the Josh Hart option, $12 million. Wow, that's surprising. Weird. I didn't expect to get this much info until tomorrow. It's kind of fun. Tomorrow's going to be exciting. I'm excited for content tomorrow. I think we're going to get like straight chaos.
Yeah. Well, let's see what happens. It'll be fun. But anyway, I think that's about it. That's about an hour. I'm already getting the text saying, help out. These kids don't want to sleep. So Mike, enjoyed it. Thank you for being here. There's still a chance for you to become a pastor.
Yeah, there's still, also, hey guys, don't forget to vote in the meaningless Twitter polls happening right now about Top Shot content creators. Don't forget, you got to rock the vote. It's really important. I think my favorite thing is those accounts are muted, and so those tweets get sent to me, and that's how I know they exist. But are you in an election right now? Did you make one?
I am in an election. I am in one.
Vote for Tandy. Every vote. The votes are important because we need to know we have active users. So get out there and
vote. Absolutely. All right, rock the vote, everybody, and until the next week. Thank you. Goodbye. Next time, I should have said. Until next week. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, end the show, Tandy.
All right, bye.
Static Selector.